It's an Ask LOJ edition, and you guys came with the big dog flame-throwing questions right out of the chute, and it's next on Locked on Jazz.
You are Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
How are you? I'm David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA Insider. This is Locked on Jazz, and thank you for making Locked on the #1 sports podcast network. Today's show, Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast. Trying to make it. I changed the open. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I've done the same open the same way. They want me to change the open. The executives of this company, want me to change the way I do my open, and I evidently cannot do it. This is Locked on Jazz, giving you insight, expertise, geeky numbers, and hopefully making it way better to be a Jazz fan each and every day. Thank you so much for making Locked on Jazz your first listen. We are free and available on all podcasting apps, also on YouTube. Thank you very much to the everydayers. You're the best. We appreciate you. Have some fun, exciting things coming for you in the near future. All right, it's a Friday edition. It's an Ask LOJ edition, and you guys are like, dang, Skippy, bringing it at me today. So there is no ducking and no hiding. I bring your questions. I take them. I ask them. There is a ton of win or lose. How do I fan questions? But let's start off with there is the what if of hell that I don't know why you want to go revisit this terrible scenario of what if we'd done something differently. There's an evaluation of Ace in his first month. There's a funny, weird question from someone about if they played in the NBA. We got to help a guy out a little bit on his travels to Salt Lake City, and what he's going to do, because the Jazz community is going to step up on this one and help this guy out and tell him what he's supposed to do. And there's a trade idea, multiple trade ideas. So let's get right to it. Zach Lowe of The Ringer said the price for Lauri Markkanen is Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland. I typed that in wrong. Ron Holland, and 4 first-round picks and 4 pick swaps. Don't we have to do that? All right. So let's walk through this for a second. The first thing is, my answer is I don't know that that's actually the market. I mean, I think Zach was trying to make a point and did a good job. And got us to talk about it. If it is the price, you have to at least consider it. Right? You can't just ignore that price. But let me just make sure that we walk through this for a second. Because to me, the whole key to this is, what do you think of Jaden Ivey? Let me address the 4 pick swaps and the 4 firsts. Detroit, if you give Detroit Lauri Markkanen, they're really, really good. They're one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference for an extended stretch. So it's unlikely you're using any of the pick swaps unless something terrible happens to Cade Cunningham or Lauri. The second thing I would say is in regards to the 4 firsts. We just did a whole show yesterday at the end of the show about the fact that every draft seems to have about 22 players that end up playing more than 20 minutes a night. And if you look at the draft, the way it works is generally 7 or 8 of the top 10 picks make it. And then half the players after 10 make it in the NBA as rotation players. So when you look at 4 first-round draft picks here, I think you have to consider that is 2 rotation players in the NBA. Rotation players, not stars, rotation players. Unless far enough down the road you think Detroit could fall apart. And that's the play. And this is exactly where we sit right now. Like, we did really well on the Donovan Mitchell and the Rudy Gobert trades. For Donovan Mitchell, we have Lauri Markkanen. We turned Ochai Agbaji into Isaiah Collier. Okay, but I don't know that Isaiah Collier is a rotation player in the NBA yet. We have a pick swap in 26 we're not going to use. Cleveland's good. We have a pick swap in 28 we probably aren't going to use, and I'm not sure we actually even have a swap in 28, but we wouldn't use it. And we have first-round picks in 27 and 29, And if you recall, we made a trade so that it's actually we get the first round picks of our pick, Cleveland's trick, and Minnesota's pick. The worst one goes to Phoenix now. Okay. So, but if we look at the Donovan trade, we got Lauri, which is great. We got Ochai. We got Collier, which is great. We're going to get, in all likely, Cleveland's going to be good in 27, unless Donovan leaves. 29, maybe not. We don't know. They'll still have Evan Mobley. They'll probably be okay still. So you're going to get probably another rotation player. So if, Lauri's great. Collier, we'll see. 27 and 29, one of those picks for Cleveland, Minnesota, let's just make it equally distributed. One of them, we use Cleveland's pick on one of them and Minnesota's pick on the other. And for Cleveland's pick, it's in 27, both Cleveland and Minnesota are going to be pretty good. And then in 29, hopefully one of them's fallen off. For Rudy, we got Walker Kessler. We got Keyonte George. We got the pick we used to trade for Walter Clayton. We have a swap we won't use because it won't be good enough. And then we have the same thing on this 27-29 pick. And then eventually we have Phoenix's 31 pick. We're really playing to win those trades. We're playing that one, if not both these teams is just terrible in 29. But they're both should be okay in 27. Like it's 2 years away. They should be okay. Anthony Edwards is still going to be Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell is still going to be Donovan Mitchell. Unless something awful happens. And so we got this haul for these trades, but really what do we get for Donovan? We got Lauri, we got Isaiah Collier. We'll see if he's a rotation player. And then we're going to get one other maybe rotation player. And that's what we're getting for that pick. And then we get the Phoenix pick down the road. For Rudy, we got Walker, we got Keyonte, we got Walter Clayton. And because we're splitting them, we got one future maybe rotation player down the road. So you can do this whole 4 first rounds, 4 picks walks. You can win the press conference. And we did great on these trades. But what is it really? The pick swaps in the near future you're not using because they're going to be better than you. By definition, if you trade Lauri, we're years away. We may be years away anyway. I mean, that might be the reality, and that's why you have to trade Lauri. And we need more. We'll discuss this at some other day. If for some reason, you evaluate all of our guys and none of them other than Keyonte and Walker are going to pan out, then yeah, an ace, then you probably have to go do something. The point I'm making is that it sounds so sexy, but Detroit first round pick next year is the 30th. There's going to be the 26th pick. They're good. And if we get 29, it's probably Cade Cunningham and Lauri still, and whoever, and their young guys, Osu or Thompson coming up. Yeah, they probably are really good in 29. So then you're playing a game for 31 and 33 picks to be good. Now, we might be able to, what I do like is on some of these is if we can get good by then, which you usually need Lauri to do that, and suddenly Phoenix or Detroit or in 29 Minnesota or Cleveland tanks, or just not tanks, but just falls apart, and we've gotten pretty good, then you're adding young, great talent to a good team. This is what Oklahoma City's going to be able to do now. This is where Oklahoma City is just going to be unstoppable for a while. So that's the issue. If you're going to make this trade, you should not assume that any of the 4 first-round picks are going to be good picks until maybe 31 or 33. Because Detroit's going to be good. They'll have Cade Cunningham and Lauri Markkanen. And you shouldn't assume we're ever going to use the pick swaps. So then the real question on the whole trade is whether you think how good you think Jaden Ivey is. And whether you think Jaden Ivey is a player that we need that fits into who we are as a team. I'm not sold on Ron Holland. I think he's a fun, athletic, interesting wing who cannot shoot the long ball. And I like guys who can shoot. This league's about guys who can shoot. Jaden Ivey has been oft injured, played 30 games last year. He is having arthroscopic procedure on his knee to relieve comfort off a knee injury that the year before cost him the season. Seems pretty risky, but Jaden Ivey shot 41% from 3 in his 30 games last year. Was in his year 3 bump that we're seeing out of Keyonte and was really good. And then you have to ask yourself, is Jaden Ivey that much better than Keyonte George, or do Jaden Ivey and Keyonte George just play together? And then there's a whole other question of whether you can pay all of them at the same time. But Jaden Ivey is 1 year ahead of Keyonte, has to get paid, 5th pick of the draft in 2022, and is a really nice player. He's averaged about 15, 16 points a game. He got way more. He was in the midst of his year 3 bump. The exact same bump we're seeing out of Keyonte, he was doing last year, and he really might be really, really good if that knee's all right. His effective field goal percentage went from 49 to 54%. This really comes down to how you evaluate Jaden Ivey. Do you believe Jaden Ivey is a star guard that matches to what the Jazz need in their future development? Because to me, as sexy as it is, we've done this before. The 4 first-round draft picks for Donovan Mitchell are giving us Isaiah Collier, a probably not very good pick in 27. For Rudy Gobert, got us Keyonte George, Walter Clayton, and probably not like a similar player in 27. And then Phoenix's pick in 31. And the Phoenix pick in 31 is the wild card play here. Trying to shoot the moon there. I love it. I love the fact we did that. But that's the reality. And that's a good haul. We've done fine on it. But that's the reality of what you get. It's not like, right? Like Danny got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown from Pokashev's, from whatever his name was, Prokhorov in the Brooklyn Nets, and that's just not going to happen again. What about Austin Reaves as the Jazz free agent signee to jet this thing forward in the offseason? Next on Locked on Jazz. Friday edition of Locked on Jazz is brought to you by Murdoch Hyundai, but not only Murdoch Hyundai. I've got more exciting news. Obviously, Murdoch Hyundai is located at 4646 South State Street, and the Hyundai car is amazing, and we love the Murdochs. They've been in Utah for over 90 years, and they've done incredible work in the town and the community, and I love the Murdochs, and I love Hyundai, and it's all good. And now I have more exciting news because the Murdoch team welcomes their new addition, the Murdoch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Bountiful. That's right, Murdoch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Bountiful at 755 North and 500 West in West Bountiful. So check out what's going on at the Murdoch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Bountiful. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family. It is Murdoch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Bountiful. Today's show is also brought to you by Quo. When I wish that we had known about Quo when we had started Locked On, because I used our own phone, my own personal phone, for a long time, and it wasn't great. So let's talk about every business owner knows too well missed calls when a customer tries to reach out and can't get through. Money slipping away. So Quo, Q-U-O, is the smarter way to run your business communications so you never miss an opportunity. Quo is the #1 business system built for the 2025, not 1995. It's simple, modern, designed to help you communicate faster, look more professional, and stay connected wherever you're working. It's the right from the app on your phone to the computer. There's no extra devices, no clunky landlines, and the built-in AI is a game changer. It logs your calls, writes summaries, and even sets up follow-up automatically. Try Quo for free at QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. And yes, you can even keep your existing number. Quo, QUO, no missed calls, no missed customers. Time to get into your bag with DoorDash. That's right. This year, DoorDash with the NBA season is helping fans get into their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for highlights, your fantasy team, or your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game and every night even a little bit better. Every time an NBA player scores 50 in a game. Did Tyrese Maxey do this last night? Did he get the 50? That was a hell of a performance against Milwaukee last night. Let's check. Do we get to get in our bag today with DoorDash Pass? Tyrese Maxey, I think he had 52, didn't he? 54, let's do it. We're doing it right now with Tyrese Maxey. That's right. So Tyrese Maxey today, DoorDash drops, today being Friday the 21st. DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day. You've automatically entered a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff you actually want. That's right. DoorDash has you covered for late night highlights, last minute watch parties, and double overtime fuel ups. But today, Tyrese Maxey dropped 50 on Thursday. So on Friday, the 21st, use the promo code NBA50 today and get 50% off your DoorDash with Dash Pass. Plus, you get a shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only 50% off up to $10 the day after Tyrese Maxey dropped 50 with the promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 years or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. Thank you very much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the number one sports podcast network in the world. I don't know, not in the world. Probably in America, but in Canada, North America, I don't know. I don't want to I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Should the Jazz sign Austin Reaves as a free agent in the offseason? Maybe. Maybe this should be the target. Absolutely. Maybe 100%. The biggest free agents in the offseason are LeBron James, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, James Harden. Stop me when you hear someone you want. These are the guys getting paid the most. CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Kristaps Porzingis, Isaiah Hartenstein, Andrew Wiggins, Tobias Harris, Draymond Green, Fred VanVleet, Anthony Simons, John Collins, Terry Rozier, Jonathan Kuminga, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Nikola Vucevic, Harrison Barnes. None of these are particularly interesting. LeBron, Trae Young, Zach LaVine. You might make an argument Trae Young. James Harden, CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Kristaps Porzingis, Isaiah Hartenstein. They may have to let him go. Club option, though, for 28.5. Andrew Wiggins, Tobias Harris, Draymond Green, Fred VanVleet, Anthony Simons, John Collins, Terry Rozier. Yeah. Austin Reaves. So, yeah. Austin Reaves might be the number one target for the Utah Jazz in the offseason. And do the Lakers want to pay Austin Reaves? Do the Lakers choose Austin Reaves over LeBron James? Do the Lakers think Austin Reaves is where they should spend their money? Austin Reaves, who when everyone was out this year, dropped 51 against Sacramento and 41 against Portland. Austin Reaves, who's a 6'5" scoring guard, one of the best isolation and pick and roll players in the NBA, and has been for years, was the best pick and roll guard, I think, 3 years ago. Yeah, maybe. The only thing on Austin Reaves, the only little thing that gets a little nerve-wracking on Austin Reaves is whether he's a good shooter or not. His career is 37%. Right now, he's at 33% from three. That's the only thing, but he's an 87% free throw shooter. You got to figure he'd put it together. So also, on the discussion of trading Lauri Markkanen, if you really think you have a chance to sign Austin Reaves, you probably don't want to trade for Jaden Ivey. But the question is, can you get Austin Reaves? Can you get him over Brooklyn? Can you get him if the Lakers are going to match? But yeah, if we're clearing space and we're trying to hold on to 11 million, whatever the extra 9 million is so that we don't have to, that's why we didn't sign Walker Kessler. Then yeah, Austin Reaves should be someone we're looking at. And the teams with the most cap space are Brooklyn, Utah, and the Lakers can match because of their bird rights. I don't think, depending what Memphis does and Charlotte does, I do not think they will have more cap space, but it'll time to tell. But I believe those are the teams that will have the most cap space. So yeah, maybe. And then what do you think? Keyonte, Austin Reaves, Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and Ace Bailey, and you start moving forward with whatever you draft this year. Is that enough? You mentioned Memphis might be looking to tank train. Any chance Jaren Jackson would be had if someone would make you think twice? Jaren Jackson's really interesting. They just paid Jaren Jackson. I would be super surprised if Memphis traded Jaren Jackson. However, I don't know what they can get for John Morant. And so if I think that they trade John Morant and they try to rebuild around Jaren Jackson, they have him under cost control of 49, 50, 52 million, 53 million for the next 4 years. And I would think that that's what they would want to do. But if they try to go into a rebuild, I don't know that John Morant's going to get them anything. And so they may have to trade. They already trade Desmond Bane and got 1 million first-round draft picks. Do they trade Jaren Jackson, get 1 million first-round draft picks, and then they're built with this draft capital? The other question I actually truly have on Memphis, it's probably not appropriate, is like, how long are they going to be in Memphis? Like, is that really a viable market in this billion-dollar age of NBA basketball? Does not feel like it. But Memphis has an Orlando pick swap in 29. I think an Orlando pick in 30. And I think they have something weird with Phoenix next year. So they have some pieces. Roughly a month into the season, how would you evaluate Ace? Anything better or worse than expected? It's a great question. So I would say, let's go with worse than expected. These are going to be contradictory, or they feel contradictory. I mean them. So I would say his overall understanding of like defensive schemes in the game and things like that. And the thing that's better than expected is his instincts to those things. So like when he's just playing and he makes a play and he does things, it's incredible what his instincts are, whether it's dropping off a pass or something of that sort. But when it's really time to think it through and understand, like, okay, if I'm defending, I can't use my hands, or if I'm the bottom guy, I'm rotating in this way. Those things have not been great. No surprise, he's 19. But it's a little worse than I probably would have expected. But his instincts at 19 are way better than I would have expected, if that makes sense. The second part of that, I would say, his general overall skill level is just outstanding. Unbelievable. His desire, his energy and effort and things are outstanding. Better than I expected, worse than I expected. A month into the season. He's not a ball hawk at all. Like the scouting report and books on him out of Rutgers, what everybody said he was, is just a million miles away from what he actually is. There's been one question that was asked 100 times this week. How do I fan? What am I rooting for? That's a great question. And it's next on Locked On Jazz. Friday edition of Locked On Jazz is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks gives you a chance to get into the action, have some fun, and all you have to do is pick more or less and get it right. Prize Picks, you make every decision every day, but on Prize Picks, being right gets you paid for that. Don't miss any of the excitement this season, whether it's NFL, NBA, NHL. Better time to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. Pick more or less on any two players, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup. You can play anywhere Prize Pick operates, including California, Texas, Georgia. So Prize Picks, the new stacks feature is game-changing. You can now pick more on Steph's points, threes, assists in the same lineup. Plus, if one of your players leaves early with an injury, the injury reboot saves your lineup from a loss. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in your lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Thank you very much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen. If you're coming to the game tonight, bring your noise-canceling headphones. Stop by our booth in Section 7, and we have for you a chance so you can listen with no lag in the arena to the broadcast. Kind of fun. And then we don't go to commercial break. We stay on and chat with you during the breaks as well. Okay, let's get back to the questions. I'm a lifelong Jazz fan living in Pennsylvania. I'm coming out to the first game ever in Utah Friday and Saturday. Any recommendations of what to do around the arena? Let's help this guy out. His Twitter is Dan Benner, Benner, 1984. Send him what you think. You guys know better than I do. What are fun things to do around the arena in Salt Lake for Friday and Saturday? Dan Benner, DANBENNER 1984 to let him know. How do we fan this year? I'm having the toughest time cheering for wins when we can lose that 26 first-round pick. It's not only a loaded draft, but 2 guys with ties to Utah. Austin Ainge said with Bowler playing better defense, we can make the playoffs. It's apparent they want to win. Do you think it's better for the team to try to win even with the draft pick? With the rise of Key and the dominance of Lauri and the coming of Ace, wouldn't it be better to make a start to move to winning? And we won't be a bottom 3 team, and maybe a play-in or playoff is better for the development of the young guys. Every pundit says this pick is super important. Would you anticipate the roster changes? Pressure on Will to play less younger players more. Can't we just try to trade the Lakers pick or some other pick to get it? Yes, the anguish is real. The anguish is real. I love what the Jazz are doing. I love that we're playing straight up. I love that we're playing hard every night. I love that we're developing players. I love the Keys bursting on the scene. I love the that Lowry's playing amazingly. It's all great. And then there's this looming, lingering thing that's out there that is the Derek Favors trade from many years ago that Oklahoma City is literally looming back there behind us. It sucks. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, hug. It's a terrible situation being as a fan base. It's a terrible situation being in the front office, frankly. We need to pick. We need talent. Let me just say this. Okay? We're playing really well. It's really fun. We're doing a lot of things well. We have not played the toughest schedule yet. In fact, we might have played the easiest. And we have the toughest or second toughest schedule left. So without being a downer, before we panic on this, can we wait the next 15 days? Because here's the next. We'll see. Here's what we're about to embark upon. If you haven't looked at it, we play Oklahoma City tonight. I'm going to take you to Christmas and project wins until Christmas. Okay? We play Oklahoma City. Then we play at home against the Lakers. Then we play a back-to-back at Golden State. Then we play home with 3 days off because of Thanksgiving in Sacramento. Okay, there's one. The problem is Sacramento's terrible, right? This is the problem, is that there's all these teams underneath us. Then we play Houston. Then we play Houston again. Then we play Brooklyn. Should get that one. Then we play the Knicks. Then we play Oklahoma City again. Then we don't know what we do during NBA Cup team, but they might not be very good because they're not going to the Cup either. Then we play the Lakers. Then we play Orlando. Then we play Denver. Then we play Memphis. Might get that one. But it's a back end of back-to-back out of Denver. So between now and Christmas, let's assume we win one of the Cup games. I think we have 4 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Could go 4 and 11. Then coming out of Christmas, it's Detroit, San Antonio, Boston, Clippers, maybe, Golden State, Portland, OKC, Dallas, maybe, Charlotte, maybe. A road trip of Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas, maybe one of those in Dallas. It doesn't get a lot easier. So there's 2 comments here. One is, I feel it. 2, we haven't played that tough schedule. I think it may take care of itself. It might not. In which case then, I don't know the answer. I really don't. I love this creativity, by the way, on that last one. Can we just trade the Lakers pick or some other pick back this year and if they say no, doesn't make it easier to give Oklahoma City to get the protections off of our pick? And I think that, that would be great. The irony is, though, if we actually need the protections off the pick, then we're drafting like 10, 11, 12, and it's actually not that important. It's not that as valuable, right? Its value to us as a franchise is if it's under 8 and we actually take it. But when it suddenly gets to 12 or 13 or 14, then we're into the 50-50 game of players. All right, rapid fire to wrap this up. If this keeps up this pace, would you consider Lauri a top 10 or top 15? I'd probably go top 15. The lack of self-creation may keep him out of the top 10. Where's Taylor Hendricks been? Remember, he got injured, was not playing particularly well. We got to give him a break, man. His body is going through it. He had a hamstring tightened up, which I'm sure is related to everything that is like ankle breaking and trying to get back. No evaluation of Taylor Hendricks allowed till post All-Star break. Do you see Walker Kessler returning for the Utah Jazz next season? Yes, and with a new contract. This is a weird question and probably one only you can answer. Let's say I'm a guard in the NBA and I have a breakaway to the rim in transition. Am I more likely to miss a dunk or a layup? Well, if you are the guard, I don't know who you are, but you aren't going to make either. Someone's going to catch you from behind and block it. Is Keyonte's averaging 23 points a game, which is currently 24th in the NBA, only shooting 29% from 3 this year? If you're able to get his 3-point up to league average, what is his ceiling as a top 15 point per game player? It's actually only like a point a night, or it's only like 3 points probably a night, right? It's not one. If he suddenly goes up to 35%, it's not like he's making one more 3 a night. He's shooting 29% from 3. If he can get to 36, he's taking 7 threes a night. Right now, he's 2 for 7 kind of on a nightly basis. And if he went to 3 for 7 on a nightly basis, then he's shooting 43% from 3. So it's not like he gets 3 points every night. He wouldn't make a 3 every night. He would make one about every other or every third night. So it's about a point. It's about a 1.5 to 1 point difference. So it would just take him to 24 points a game. He's been great. This is the what if from hell. Why do you ask this question? If we take Jaden McDaniels instead of Doak in 2020, are both Rudy and Donovan still on the Jazz and have been to the NBA Finals? I mean, or if we take Desmond Bane. Honestly, Dennis Lindsey's run as the Jazz GM was like near perfection. It was really incredible, except for like a 10-day span where like I think you could probably find other mistakes, but honestly, and you could probably nitpick about like how we went about the Mike Conley trade and should have we given up the pick earlier the year before, a bunch of garbage that it's too hard to tell. The only things that you can really look at Dennis Lindsey and like kind of say were mistakes in his career with the Jazz were the Derek Favors signing, which felt so great at the time because a guy wanted to come back and be there and be a part of the Jazz. And we signed Derek Favors. And the other is that 2020 draft. Now, that's all coming out of COVID too, right? Like isn't that coming out of COVID? So like, it makes me wonder, like because that Derek signs in November. And I think that draft is November 18th. Like literally there's a 4-day span that if we could wipe away from Dennis Lindsey's clear career as our GM, his run would be perfection. And it's in a weird time frame. Like I just always look back and wonder, yeah, like Jaden McDaniels went 28 and Desmond Bane went 30 and Udoka played 84 games in his NBA career. And it's a huge bummer, but like Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert were perfect. And so were most other. Trey Lyles' pick probably wasn't perfect, but there were some things around that one that are probably, I'll give him a pass. But like really on the edges, like if you go look at his draft history and projected points per value per projected pick, he's through the roof. Through the roof. You know, I don't know who gets credit for Joe Ingles, but fine. Like give him all credit for Joe Ingles. I'm not into the credit game. Literally there's a weird November 18th is the draft. And I think we signed Derek Favors November 20th. And if we could wipe those 3 days off of the record, I think we signed him the 24th, the 6 days, and wipe that out from the history of the Utah Jazz transactions. Yeah, what if? But otherwise, Dennis was like perfect. I hope the Jazz are calling Joe Dumars 3 times a day. He is the pigeon. Every fantasy football league has one, and the NBA does too. It is Locked On Jazz. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the show. We greatly appreciate it. It is super fun each and every day to bring this to you, so thank you for being a part of it and giving me the enjoyment of doing it. We now send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA channel, Locked On NBA on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you're listening on audio, make sure you get Locked On NBA game night, every game, every night.